Welcome to the vlog. My name is Carlo and today I'm going to talk about the essential accessories that you should buy along with your first bike. It's amazing to me how often I see somebody budget for their first bike and they forget about all these other accessories that they should buy along the way. So if you are planning on buying your bike, if this is your first bike, make sure to include these essential accessories as well. The first essential accessory that you should buy along with your first bike are water bottles and water bottle cages. Trust me, you will get thirsty when you go out cycling and you don't want to be in the middle of nowhere without any water. It is not a good experience. Along with your first bike, the second essential that you will need is a good floor pump. Not those mini pumps, but a good floor pump that can easily pump your tires because over time, your tires are going to lose pressure. And what happens when you lose pressure on your tires is that they are more prone to flats. I learned this the hard way before I finally decided to buy a pump of my own, and it was good money spent, and it's one of the most used accessories that I have in my bike garage. The next bunch of accessories that you should buy for your first bike is all the tools that you need to fix a flat tire. That's a multi-tool, tire levers, inner tube, saddlebag to hold all of those uh, tools, and a mini pump. Now, I mentioned already buying a floor pump as the second most important thing. Mini pumps suck. They all suck. I've not tried a mini pump that I've enjoyed or not hated using yet. So every time I use a mini pump, it's not a good experience. But if you are in the middle of nowhere and you need to fix a flat tire, the mini pump is the way to go. You can't bring your big floor pump. The floor pump is just so much easier to use. That's why I mentioned that as my second accessory. And you don't want to be that guy who always relies on other cyclists every time they get a flat. Don't be the guy who borrows an inner tube, who has no tools, or doesn't have a mini pump. The next essential that you should buy is chain lube. Over time, the lube on your chain is going to dry out, especially if you cycle a lot in like wet weather where the water can splash onto the chain and can wipe the lubricant out of the chain. Now, the reason why you want to keep your chain well lubricated is so that it doesn't wear on the cogs, and the cogs are a lot more expensive than a chain. The next essential you should buy are definitely lights. Me personally, I don't use the front light all that often. Some people like to use a front light and the back light. I don't use a front light because I don't really bike at night very often. But if I do bike at night, a front light is very important. But at the very least, you should purchase a backlight. Get one of those red ones, just so that people from behind can see you. Some people like using backlight even when it's even during the daytime. So it's really useful. Anything that can keep you visible from cars is a good thing. The next thing you should definitely budget for are a good set of pedals. Now, there are so many different kinds of pedals. That can be a whole vlog in itself. But you should know that your fancy bike that you purchased, they don't come with pedals. Now, if they do come with pedals, they're probably the super cheap plasticky pedals from the bike shop. And those won't last you very long. And they won't feel very good on your feet as well. So make sure to budget good pedals for your bike. A good pair of pedals will last you a really long time and it will feel really good on your feet. This next essential is really important, and I feel like it's really obvious. That's why I didn't want to put it as the first thing. But you should definitely buy a good helmet. The helmet will keep your brain safe. Trust me, I've crashed on my bike, and the helmet was the only thing that kept my little brain intact. right? So get a good helmet, make sure to budget for it, get one that fits your head, get one that you can feel comfortable riding in. And if you plan to commute, make sure to purchase a good bike lock. Um, After you commute with your bike, you are likely going to park your bike somewhere, and a bike without a bike lock is just really easy to steal. Just to make it difficult for whoever wants to steal bikes, buy a bike lock, especially if you're going to use it as a commute. Don't just trust the world that your bike is going to stay there when you get back. And lastly, if you happen to be living in a cold climate, I am lucky enough to live here in good old warm, hot, mostly Philippines, and I don't need to buy any extra cold winter wear. But I did experience cycling up in a colder area, and I would not have been able to do that without the proper cycling winter clothing. So budget for that if you happen to live in a colder climate. Okay, that's it. If you thought that was helpful or if you enjoyed those essentials, consider subscribing. My favorite videos to post are typically the ride videos, so you can check them out over here. Or if you want to support the channel, you can check that out over here. That's it. No boring days. Consider subscribing. No boring days. More videos soon.